Blood and Guts is officially in the books, and the team that won the war, the team that survived that match, the team that survived the match that we all know as War Games, is the Pinnacle. Alexis Carrillo here, back with ACB Wrestling Talk, and I just gotta be honest with all of you guys right here before we even hit a minute on this video. As you all know by now, if you've been watching my videos throughout this channel, I don't have the capability of watching these shows live, so I didn't watch the entire match. I've only watched the clips online, on Twitter, on social media, on YouTube, and that is what I am basing this video, this reaction, this review on as of right now. So with that out of the way, I have to say that what went down last night at Blood and Guts for AEW was an authentic home run by AEW all around. Because the Pinnacle needed to win this match. The Pinnacle needed to be established as the top stable in the company right now. Simply put, they were formed about a month, 2 months ago on Dynamite. We barely discovered them. We barely found out that the Pinnacle even existed, and if they had gone the completely other way and have gone with the popular choice of giving the newly babyface Inner Circle stable the win in this match, well then that would have been a death knell in the coffin for the Pinnacle, and they would have never been able to recuperate. They would have never been able to recover, and who knows what would have happened to MJF. So just based on that, kudos to the AEW booking team. Kudos to the story that they told in the match. Because, like I said, I didn't watch the entire thing. But from what I did watch, the clips that I did watch on social media, it was an all-out war at the beginning. They gave us the action. They gave us the blood, the guts, the carnage, the violence that other companies point. They gave us all of that. I specifically enjoyed the segment where all 10 men were now in the middle of both rings, one on each ring, and they just held back for a little while, regrouped, and then they charged against each other, and that just pumped up the crowd in the arena at Bailey's Place, and it also, I'm sure it also pumped everybody watching at home. They gave us what we wanted. They gave us the Dead Presidents, LAX, Santana, and Ortiz with the face paint facing off against the Revival, FTR. They gave us that showing. They let them get loose. They gave us Jake Hager versus Wardlow. They let them have at it. They used the frickin' cage as a weapon, as they should, as you always should in these types of matches. That's what the cage is there for. It's not just there for a great scenery. And just like, most matches turn out, most steel cage matches turn out, someone in that match eventually leaves the cage. And it doesn't really matter if that's a way to win the match. It doesn't really matter. Someone eventually always tries to escape the cage. And that happened last night at Blood and Guts. But, like I said, and like I will continue to keep saying right here on this video, it all led to a story. Because yes, we wanted Blood and Guts. Yes, we wanted the all-out war between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. Yes, we wanted that carnage, that scene of 10 men beating the living crap out of each other on cable television. That's what we wanted. But it all had to come out. It all had to come to an end between MJF and Chris Jericho. The two men that started this rivalry, the two men that started this feud, it needed to end with them. A confrontation, one-on-one. And they used MJF escaping the cage and heading to the roof of the cage as the appropriate tool. to get to that point. Then they had MJF take his ring, a ring that he's earned for almost 2 years now, place it on his hand, clench that hand up, and just knock the living crap out of Y2J. Just knock him out so much that he could not fight off MJF's final attempt, his trump card, to get the Inner Circle to submit, to surrender. The only way they could win that match is if they had someone from the Inner Circle submit and surrender and call it quits. And MJF, he knew this completely. He's one of the smartest performers in AEW. He's one of the smartest performers in pro wrestling right now. I'd be hard-pressed to fight anybody on that. So he threatened the leader of the Inner Circle, the mentor of everybody in that group. He's going to throw him off the top of the cage, free fall, onto the stage if you don't surrender. And Sammy Guevara, he did not hesitate. He surrendered as soon as he saw the look on MJF's crimson mask. And the Pinnacle won. Rightfully so, like I said. And then they played their cards even better. Hell, AEW already won the jackpot by having the Pinnacle win this match. But to have the biggest heel, the biggest bad guy that AEW has in their possession, to just not give a fuck. Just throw Chris Jericho off the top of the roof, off the top of the cage anyway. That's a cherry on top of the cake. They did it. They cemented the Pinnacle as the top stable in the company. They won that match. They won that war. And now, what's next for both stables? What's next? I mean, for the Pinnacle, where else can they go? I believe next week, Darby Allin is defending his TNT Championship against Miro. And depending on that result, MJF could challenge for the TNT title. But right now, the TNT title seems like a bit of a step down for MJF after all that he did in Blood and Guts. But then you have the main eventer, Kenny Omega. He is the AEW World Champion. He is the leader of his own stable, the Elite, with the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks, the new Young Bucks. But the Elite are also a heel group. Are they going to turn the Elite into a babyface group now? Doubt it. So where does the Pinnacle go from here? Where does MJF take this momentum that he earned last night and translate it into success around his waist? That's a real question, and that's something AEW needs to figure out. On the Inner Circle side, well, things are about to get interesting. Because I firmly believe we're not going to see Chris Jericho on Dynamite for at least 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, maybe more. After that fall, he should not be appearing on Dynamite anytime soon. That's a fact. He's going to sell the shit out of that match, out of that moment with MJF. And meanwhile, the Inner Circle will find themselves crumbling from the inside. At least that's how I book it. Because as Sammy Guevara surrendered on Dynamite for the entire team, you could see, I believe it was Ortiz who came up behind him and pretty much lamented the fact that Guevara surrendered. Even though it was the right thing to do, even though that as babyfaces and how much they've said that they admire Chris Jericho in the past, that was the right thing to do. But still, Sammy Guevara cost them that match. And the team can crumble from the inside. And you could have Ortiz and Santana going after Guevara, and then Jake Hager standing up for Guevara, making it 2-on-2 even. They won't fight. They won't get physical with one another until they're at the very brink. And then Chris Jericho makes his return, and then we'll see his true feelings on what Sammy Guevara did for him and did for the group as the Inner Circle last night. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the fallout. Where does all of this take us? Because Double or Nothing is less than a month away. I believe it's at the end of May. So Chris Jericho could make his return at Double or Nothing. He should make his return at Double or Nothing. How is it going to be? I don't know. I really don't know. I already played out a scenario. Might be the way I book it right now. I might give it more thought later. That might change. But these are my thoughts on what happened, what transpired last night at Blood and Guts. All I gotta say is they delivered, and they made history. Because Dynamite was, for the first time in the history of the show, the #1 rated cable TV show on the air. They did it. Over 1 million views, 1.09 million viewers for last night's Blood and Guts. So like I said at the beginning of this video, Blood and Guts delivered, and now it's up to AEW to see where they take each of these big moments they delivered last night and really capitalize on them. So, I've been Alexis Carrillo. Those are my thoughts on Blood and Guts, on the little segments, on the little clips that I watched of Blood and Guts. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you have different thoughts, what do you think about what transpired last night at Blood and Guts? And did it live up to the expectations that you thought it might have? Leave them in the comments section below. I've been Alexis Carrillo. That's it for me. Have a great rest of your day.